All right, let's take a look to see what's happening in the markets today. And today is Thursday, September 2nd. And we're doing this in 15 minutes or less so that you know what is moving the markets. And with me in the studio is my head coach, Mark Hodge. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Marcus. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Well, let's take a look at the markets. Not a whole lot going on. I mean, sometimes the markets are crazy and we have weeks where everything is just moving like crazy. And then we have other weeks like this where there's not a whole lot going on, right? I mean, let's take a look at yesterday. Where do we want to start? Dow, S&P.
Well,
Let's
take your pick, but it was interesting because it was a real quiet start to September, but the indices kind of behaved like they have been over the last couple of days. So S&P up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, up 1.4 points. 1 point.
Yeah,
In an index that's trading at 4,500. So that's nothing. I mean, the Dow down 50 points. At an index that's trading at 35,000. That is
yeah.
nothing. It's pretty much unchanged. NASDAQ slightly up 29 points on an index that trades at 15,000. That's nothing. So pretty much not a whole lot going on. So definitely the markets are waiting for the all important jobs report that is being released tomorrow. But we already got a glimpse of what could happen today, right? I mean, because we had unemployment claims being released just 30 minutes ago.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it all kind of comes together. Although the jobs looking at the last month is going to be a little different, but unemployment claims for last week coming in slightly below expectations, below last week, and I think this might be a pandemic low at
Yep, this
340.
is a pandemic low. So I guess that's kind of good news. this
Yeah.
this is where let's take a look and see what how the markets reacted to this. I just want to bring up the futures markets. Let's start with the E-mini S&P going to a 5-minute chart. Okay, so markets are moving higher. That is the path of least resistance for the markets right now. I mean, just going higher, and this is what we see here. Nasdaq, a pretty much muted reaction, and also the Dow marching higher. So pointing to a slightly higher opening. All three indices up around 3/10 of a point, 3/10 of a percentage point, whatever it is. So anyhow, we're pointing to a slightly higher opening here. So what do you think? What can we
Yeah,
expect today going into tomorrow?
I mean, Marcus, right now there's this crazy dance between news and the Fed and what expectations are. Because on one hand, you have unemployment claims, the lowest that we've seen since the pandemic and slightly below expectations, which is good. And so that could tell investors, hey, the Delta variant, COVID right now, it's not having this major impact on jobs, which is a good thing for the economy. But at the same time, when it gets too good for the economy, the Fed is more likely to taper their bond buying, and so then the Fed could start scaling back some of their stimulus, which investors don't want. So we're dancing around this good news is bad news and bad news is good news, and it's really just a mess until the Fed makes a decision. So the jobs report tomorrow is the biggie. Futures are pointing to a higher start. They're responding positive to that report, since we did see a little jump after unemployment claims. But again, tomorrow it's all about jobs. And until then, like you said, path of least resistance is up. Trade
Yeah,
what you see, not what you think.
yeah. Well, let's take a look at a few individual stocks because we have some stocks that are definitely moving here this morning. What did you see?
Well, I know Chewy reported earnings.
What is it?
CHWY.
CHWY. There we go. Chewy reporting earnings. Whoa, down almost 10%. What happened?
Yeah, they reported a 4-cent loss per share, but this was actually double what was expected. So a 2-cent loss per share was expected, and their revenue was also lower than expected. They also issued a weaker than expected outlook. So Chewy taking a little bit of a hit pre-market.
A little bit? I mean, it's almost 10%,
Yeah.
9.4%. If this is a little bit, what do you call taking a hit?
Hey, good point, Marcus. I'll give you that one.
All right, what else we got?
Hormel Foods, HRL, they're
Never heard of
down.
them. What do they do?
They're like food distribution, kind of like I think Tyson or you know hey, anyway,
Yeah.
they're down 3%. They reported earnings in line with estimates and revenue that was better than expected. But I brought this up because this is what we're seeing more and more. The company gave weaker than expected full year outlook because of higher costs. So another company that's seeing suffering from costs.
Yeah. We also had another retailer reporting, Five Below, and they are down 7%. Do you see what happened there? Because, I mean, they reported better than expected earnings, but also, same deal, weaker guidance going into the last
Yeah,
quarter and saying, well, we did well, but who knows if this will happen here? And that's what the markets are all about, right? I mean, they're factoring in the future. They don't care about the past. They're only caring about the future. What will this company do in this quarter or in the next few years? And this is where,
exactly.
down 7% this morning, flirting with the 200 level.
Yeah. Lands N LE is a symbol. Another, I think that they're clothing retailer.
Yep.
They're down. They reported earnings that were better than expected and better revenue, but said supply chain issues could impact profit margins.
Yep. So same deal here.
Yep.
Okay. ChargePoint, did you see them jumping?
Yeah.
Holy moly. So, I mean, we had a few that are down and they're up 15% pre-market.
Yeah. Nice jump there. So this is they're an electric vehicle charging company, and they reported a loss that was in line with expectations, but the company beat sales estimates and raised its full guidance. So doing the opposite, looking good for the
And
year.
that's exactly what it's all about. So they're raising their guidance, they're jumping, right? They are lowering their guidance and they're going down. So this is what we see here happening. Anyhow, cool. Any other stocks that are moving here this morning?
One more we could look at, Signet Jewelers, SIG is the ticker.
Oh yeah,
They reported earnings that were almost double forecast as well as a revenue beat. Comparable store sales also jumped 97%. And the similar theme to ChargePoint, the company raised its full year outlook. So the stock doing well pre-market.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, what else going on? Apple. Did you see the news from Apple?
I did about the ID.
The ID. I think that's big. I think this could be
Yeah,
big. So let's talk about this for
one
a
step.
moment.
Sure, Apple getting one step closer to replacing wallets with the iPhone. I saw that Arizona and Georgia are the first states that will allow Apple's wallet app to store state-issued IDs and driver's license in the app. And it also sounds that the TSA is soon going to be on board, where you could use your iPhone and to show your ID at security checkpoints before boarding planes. So I think that's a big deal.
It's pretty big, and they also say these are the two states, and then next are Connecticut, Iowa, Kentucky, Maryland, Oklahoma, Utah. So I mean, there are more states lined up. And what I saw is actually pretty cool. It seems that since Apple knows your location, as you're approaching security, this is when you have a pop up and say, "Hey, you're approaching TSA. Would you like to show your ID?" I mean, that's pretty slick.
That's
It's pretty
nice.
slick.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. That's cool.
Yeah. So I mean, Apple is supposed to reveal its new iPhone this month. It's usually in September. It's usually the third week, and it will be iPhone 13. I actually discussed this recently with my son. If they would really call it iPhone 13, what do you think? Will they call it iPhone 13?
You thought they should skip it over it to 14 like floors in the hotels?
I mean, you have it in hotels, you have it on airplanes. I mean, there's no row 13 on most airplanes. So I don't know. I mean, there's probably a reason why hotels don't have a 13th floor, airplanes don't have a row 13. What did Michael Scott say from The Office? I'm uh, I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little bit stitious, or something like this. Okay. Hey, some news from the coronavirus drug front. Both Pfizer and Merck have announced that they start the trials of of a COVID vaccine drug. So they call it fancy oral antiviral medications. But so the idea is instead of shots, that maybe at some point we could take pills. So markets are saying, okay, you're starting doing this, so up 0.5% for Pfizer, which is pretty much in line with the overall market. And Merck MRK also 0.2%. So investors are not yet overly excited about this, but this would be interesting. Instead of syringes, that maybe at some point we can just pop pills against coronavirus. We'll see, right?
Yeah. And Marcus, I saw that there's a company in Israel that I believe they were the first company to test an oral vaccine, and right now it's in trials. It's Oramed Pharmaceuticals. The ticker is ORMP.
ORM key.
Or ORMP.
P. Okay. Okay. Found it.
And so supposedly they're the first to test an oral vaccine, and so they're in trials, and they believe that the pill is more resistant to COVID, since, according to the CEO, it trains the immune system against three viral proteins rather than the one targeted by Pfizer and Moderna.
All right.
So it might be something to watch.
All right. Interesting. Let's take a look at some cryptocurrencies here. So Bitcoin this morning above 50,000 again. Yippee! So up 2.4%. And Dogecoin, what do you know? Dogecoin back from the dead. I mean, they are right now trading at around 30 cents, but well below the high of 75 cents that was established. What was it? 74 cents, I believe, that was established
Elon
earlier this
Musk
year.
tweets.
So, hmm?
Established with Elon Musk tweets.
Yes, Elon Musk tweets, and no love from Elon Musk right now, but trading around 30 cents here right now. But let's see, Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum is making a run up. I mean, if you compare this to Bitcoin, right? I mean, Bitcoin, we had the highs here, and Ethereum, it seems that Ethereum could reach a new all-time high quicker than Bitcoin, and we're looking at weekly
Yeah.
charts here right now.
Sure. No, that definitely seems to be the case. A little bit stronger based on chart.
All right, want to
I,
take a
I
look at?
didn't.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I didn't look into it, but I saw a headline that Twitter is testing the ability for users to send tips with Bitcoin.
Really?
So
Okay.
I don't know how many people are selling tips through Twitter, but more and more people jumping on board Bitcoin.
Yeah, I wanted to look at some of the meme stocks and see what's happening there. So AMC had this impressive jump up a few days ago, but no real follow through at this point. GME also same deal. I mean, there was this one massive push last week where both AMC GME jumped up, but ever since they have been trading sideways. Let's just see what BlackBerry does. Just interesting. Yeah, BlackBerry, and then we have Bed Bath and Beyond. Just piddling around there. So not a whole lot going on in the meme stocks. Well, as you all know, we're not trading meme stocks. The way how we trade is using the wheel and the PowerX strategy. If you would like to know more about these strategies, we'll link to a couple of videos right now that you can take a look at so that you know how we are approaching the markets. And we're actually jumping over right now to our live trading room with our mastermind members, where we trade these two strategies and see what is happening today in the markets. So have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to you soon.
Happy trading, everybody.